Hey YouTube, Dan Ottawa coming at you with another Love Cup team. This one around Charizard. Charizard, I think I didn't see a ton of them at the beginning. I'm seeing a lot more now. And I think it's because people are starting to realize that Charizard, even in bad matchups, is not bad since the wing attack buff, right? So what I've learned is a lot of people are scared because there's a ton of double water. There's like double Slowbro and Slow King. There's alomamolas everywhere. So I think a lot of people are staying away from Charizard, but I don't think that's the right play because I've played those matchups straight up. If alomamola tries to farm all the way down, which is with waterfalls, you will get 2 blast burns off, and 2 blast burns take it down to the red between the wing attacks and blast burns. And the Slowbros, a lot of time they run confusion, and you can, same thing, 2 blast burns will take out a Slowbro. And just in neutral situations, this blast burn does so much. So it's definitely a Pokemon that you should look at, like Goodbye Electrode. That's a one-shot. Out comes a Slowbro. This one is the Galarian, so it is not even half water. So this will do, again, neutral. So they have to shield here. And then I will have Crustle in the back here to smack down and take this out. So Charizard, definitely underrated. I would, again, I'm going to mention this in a couple of videos because I have Charizard in this team, and then I have alomamola coming on a team probably tomorrow. And the best team that I put together for Go Battle Day that was dominant was Lickitung lead, because outside of like Scrafty is really the only hard punish, because even Metachamp you can like stay in and just slam the body slams, and like they're super effective. So Lickitung lead, alomamola, and Charizard in the back. So you are double weak to electric in the back. But again, alomamola just can tank a lot of the electric type moves because it's so tanky. And then Charizard, same thing. It's just like can blast burn its way through a lot of things. So yeah, so look, if you're looking to grind for these last like couple days, and you have I know, right? If you have an XL Lickitung, if you have alomamola, and you have a wing attack, blast burn, double legacy move, Charizard, it is a very good team to use, and I'm dominating with that, and I'm just going to run with that until Thursday when the league switches over. Crustle, I don't know. It has play. There's a few problems here. One is there's a ton of Metachams ever. Still a ton of Metachams, which that's why you kind of use Charizard and Electro, just kind of spam and deal with that. So a ton of Charizards everywhere. You have, a ton of Metachamps everywhere, a couple Scrafties, alomamola you're weak against as well. But it has some play against like these electric type Pokemon. Has play against more neutral situations. It's weak to water, but there's also like steals, there's Worm Trash and stuff like that. So I didn't love it, and it's slow on the Smackdown. Look at that. They get to a second move, so it's slow on the charge with these Smackdowns. But again, Charizard's just going to sweep here because Charizard is a beast. So I was not impressed with Crustle. I just think it's too limited in this cup. Again, if you get on like a Charizard or something, it's great. But there's just so many other Pokemon that just does not do well against. And with the Electrode, I'm running Foul Play on it again. Just because that's what I had. I would suggest running Hyper Beam instead of Foul Play. Foul Play did not come in handy like almost any time, and Hyper Beam, I got beamed a couple times, and I was like, oh yeah, that's much better. So if you have an Electrode, I would suggest running a Hyper Beam on it. So that is it. Like I said, you can do this team. It's not terrible. I still think Electrode is a great safe swap. See here, I could have gotten like 2 more and got a Hyper Beam. So that is definitely something you want to look into if you're running Electrode. I still think Electrode is one of the best safe swaps in this meta. But this meta is almost over. So we have 2 weeks left. Master League and Master League Premier. I mentioned multiple times now, I've built up like 8 to 10 Master League Premier Pokemon, so I can do a bunch of teams for that. I do not have any Master League open. Please send me those. And we'll look forward to next season. Guesses on buffs or nerfs? Who knows? who knows what these guys are going to do. It's always up in the air. I think, like I mentioned, you can't. Someone mentioned that they did nerf Focused Blast in the past, and then they re-nerfed it and rebuffed it. So it's not that it's unprecedented to nerf and buff something. So why can't they buff and nerf Wing Attack? I don't know if they will. I think it'll just be mostly nerfing and buffing other things, is my guess. I don't think they like will immediately be like, oh yeah, we messed up hard. this meta is terrible. I don't think they'll do that. So I will. My guess is, I don't know. I really think Surf deserves a nerf on Lantern because Lantern's really tough. And it's because Surf can just, you get to it so fast, and like stuff like Sableye, you like sweep Sableye because you can just get 2 Surfs off and 2 Surfs take it out. So if you slow down the energy generation or reduce the damage, I think that Surf is a good candidate to get nerfed. Again, who knows what they will do. They may introduce new moves that we don't even know about for Pokemon. Who knows? They may buff other moves. It's really tough for me to guess what they're going to do. My guess is it won't be right, though. My guess is it won't be right. They have shown their inability to get this right often. It took them like Azumarill was the top ranked Pokemon for 6 or 7 seasons before they nerfed Bubble. And then Registeel was OP, and they finally nerfed Zap Cannon, but only to like 67% chance, which does make a difference, but not really because it's still like rank 1 in both Great League and Ultra League, right? Is it rank 1 in both Great League and Ultra League? Yeah, Great League it's first, and Ultra League is first. Yep. And the Shadow in Ultra League is ranked 3rd, right? So they nerfed to a certain extent, but not enough. And then there's other Pokemon they nerf. I guess they had to nerf Walrein, and Walrein still has play in the Ultra League. Yeah, Shadow Walrein's 24 and regular's 33, and in the Great League, 41 and 55. So I think the Icicle Spear nerf was good because Walrein still has play, but not as much play, but it still has play. The Nidoqueen nerf was terrible. Like Nidoqueen is unusable now. I think they need to buff it back up or something. I'm trying to think of other nerfs and buffs that they have done in the past. They could nerf something like Earthquake, because Earthquake is on Galarian Stunfisk and Swampert, and both of those are top in the thing. Unless you want to nerf Mudshot, but I think Mudshot affects other things as well. I think just nerfing Earthquake as the nuke that will one-shot is an option. Counter, I don't think Counter is going to get nerfed. Because again, there's 2. I know people are like, what about Medicham with Counter? The problem is there's other Pokemon with Counter that, like Machamp, Surfetched. These other Pokemon that use Counter that would completely be, that are already sort of niche, that would be like completely irrelevant if you nerf Counter because they're already so glassy. So I don't think you can do that. Bastiodon, no, I wouldn't nerf Bastiodon in any way. Shadow Claw on Trevenant and Sableye. Shadow Claw is an interesting one because it's such a strong move. But now with Noctowls everywhere, it's kind of useless. So I don't know if they'll nerf that. One thing you could nerf with Noctowl is Sky Attack. Or Shadow Ball. Either of those, if you're not going to nerf Wing Attack back, you could nerf Sky Attack or Shadow Ball. I think Sky Attack would probably be the better one because there's not as many flyers that use Sky Attack, and Sky Attack is just so fast to get to with the Wing Attacks now. Weather Ball's already been nerfed for Pelipper. Altaria, Gliscor. Like I said, Lantern Surf I think should use one. Pidgeot, no, they've already nerfed Feather Dance in the past, so I don't think they'll do it again. Registeel, I still think you need to do something with Focus Blast or Zap Cannon. Nerf them a little bit, lower Zap Cannon from 67 to 50%, something like that. I think Registeel needs a little more of a nerf here. And then we're already in like the 89 tails in like 25 to 30 range. I didn't know they're not going to nerf Powder Snow or Weather Ball. They've already nerfed. Dazzling Gleam, So those are like sort of my, just looking at the Great League Pokemon, my nerfs that I think they could do. Yeah, going to Double Kick and Sacred Sword. It'd be interesting if they nerf, because Cobalion is so tough in the Great League because the Double Kick and Sacred Sword just goes insane. The thing is, you can get walled by like Trevenant and Giratina and other Pokemon, so it's not terrible, but it's kind of rough going against that when it like charges up. So you could nerf Double Kick or Sacred Sword because it only affects Cobalion and Virizion, right? And Virizian's, yeah, right there at 15. So that is an option for a nerf. Charizard's interesting. You could nerf Blast Burn a little bit if you wanted to. But for the most part, I think those are all the nerfs, if any. Like, those are just looking at the just rankings. If I was going to nerf anything, I would nerf those. I don't think anything else really needs to be nerfed. Next, it's buff. What do you buff to change the meta? Or what moves do you introduce on other Pokemon to make them more relevant? And that I do not know enough about other moves in the game to make other Pokemon relevant. So that would just be a blind guess on my part. And then you have buffs, which again, I try and buff something in the 40 to 50 range to boost it a bit, but I don't know. I don't know what you buff to make. I was about to say buff Powder Snow, but A9 just got Shadow, and that's going to be tricky. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the thumbs up and comments, and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one.